Mechanical lie. G37 is not a sports car. It's a bad idea that somehow got mass-produced, sold to the dumb and desperate, and glorified by car culture's bottom shelf. Underneath the bloated hood is a worn-out V6 that screams louder than it performs, a motor that fights for its life every time it's revved at a red light. There's no grace in how it moves, just noise, shuddering, and that awful delay when you ask it for speed and it gives you heat and regret. It handles like it's drunk, stiff when it should be sharp, soft when it should be planted. You don't drive a G37, you beg it not to embarrass you. And even when it works, it doesn't deliver. It just yells louder, like an insecure dude trying to prove he belongs at a table he'll never be invited to. They claim it's fast, but it's not. It's quick if you're used to Ubers and delivery vans. Any Dodge with a proper 5.7 or better will leave it breathless in seconds. The G37 is built to lose, and it does it loudly. You floor it and it howls like a dying weed whacker, jerking forward as if it's struggling to remember how gears work. The steering is numb, disconnected, like you're piloting a ghost of performance. The brakes, they fade after a single hard stop. Infiniti didn't make a sport coupe, they built a pathetic illusion and sold it to anyone dumb enough to think loud equals fast. But it's not just bad engineering, it's the complete lack of soul. There's nothing legendary here, no history, no legacy, no racetrack DNA. The G37 was born to be leased, wrecked, and forgotten. It never earned respect in any corner of serious car culture. It just snuck into the back door while everyone was looking at real builds. It doesn't belong in any category. It's not JDM, not muscle, not luxury, not tuner. It's a confused, overmarketed blob with an identity crisis. And somehow, that nothingness made it a favorite for the kinds of drivers who never know what they're doing behind the wheel. You can hear them coming from blocks away, exhausts hacked off or modded into mosquito death machines. They rev constantly not to flex, but because they have nothing else. No torque, no traction, no control. Just noise. That's all a G37 really is, a tantrum on wheels. The more you hear it, the more you realize it's not just annoying, it's insulting. It pollutes the road, the air, and the culture. And nobody's brave enough to tell these clowns that their car isn't fast, isn't tough, and isn't even functional half the time. It's not just the car, it's who drives it. The average G37 owner is the physical form of regret. He smells like cheap cologne, vapes out the window, and wears slides with socks while yelling into his iPhone on speaker. He drives with one hand and one brain cell, cutting through traffic like he's racing a timer that only exists in his ego. Parking lots fear him, pedestrians don't trust him, and every lane change feels like a threat to public safety. He doesn't drive with precision, he lunges, hoping noise will cover up how bad he is. These are not car enthusiasts. These are performance cosplay actors, pretending to be racers in a car built for nothing. Pop the trunk and you'll find vape pens, used condoms, fast food trash, and a wrench set that's never been touched. Inside, torn seats, missing knobs, cigarette burns on the headliner, and a radio that only plays bass-heavy SoundCloud trash. The AC smells like mildew. The glove box, graveyard of unpaid tickets. They don't maintain their cars, they survive them. Every G37 is 3 months from breaking down. The only thing holding it together is stubbornness and gorilla glue. These aren't drivers, they're rolling safety hazards. They treat every light like a race, even though their tires are bald, their brakes scream like tortured metal, and their suspension gave up months ago. You'll see them merging at 90, understeering through turns, then blaming everyone else when they fishtail into a curb. Insurance rates spike when they move into a zip code. Their social media is flooded with build updates that are really just junkyard salvage photos. They don't build, they scavenge. Their mods are decals, fake tow hooks, and underglow kits from Amazon. This car attracts failure like rot attracts flies. It's a magnet for those who couldn't get into anything better. They couldn't afford a charger, didn't know how to drive a stick, and were too scared to own a real project car. So they settled for the G37, a car that makes them feel aggressive without ever requiring skill. And when it fails, and it always does, they blame the dealer, the mechanic, the street, or the weather. Never themselves. Because accountability doesn't fit in the back seat. You don't spot a G37 in traffic, you brace for it. You switch lanes, give distance, prepare for stupidity. Because every time one of these clowns hits the gas, something goes wrong. And when it does, the rest of us pay the price. G37 doesn't age. It decays. Paint chips from rocks it was too low to dodge. The wrap peels from rain and shame. And the body kits, held on with hope, self-tapping screws, and 5-year-old duct tape. This car is never clean. It's either covered in brake dust, bird shit, or vinyl that's melting under the sun. Every G37 is 5 steps from falling apart, and the owners celebrate that like it's culture. But it's not. It's just failure with a spoiler. They mod them to death. Fake wide bodies that don't line up. Blitters that scrape pulling into a Walgreens. exhaust tips that rattle, LEDs stuffed into every crevice like they're trying to blind you into thinking it's impressive. None of it fits, none of it works, none of it looks good. It's not building a car, it's dressing up a corpse. And they're proud of it, and yet they flex. They take Instagram pics in parking garages, posing like they've accomplished something. Bagged, tuned, stage whatever. All words with no meaning, plastered on trash with a 130,000-mile odometer and an exhaust leak that sounds like a dying animal. It's not performance, it's performance art. But everyone watching knows the punchline. And it isn't funny anymore. G37 isn't culture. It's contamination. And it spreads wherever it's allowed to park. This car was never going to last. G37 doesn't retire, it dies in motion. Usually sideways, usually into something. It spins out of meads. It crashes during pulls. It overheats in traffic. It flames out on the freeway, engine smoking, while the owner stands beside it pretending it's the first time this has happened. We've all seen it. Hood up, steam pouring. Owner on his phone googling what knocking means. It's not tragic, it's expected. Eventually they abandon them. Left to rot in apartment lots, mold climbing up the windshield while tags expire and the tow notices stack. Sometimes it gets repoed. Sometimes it just disappears. Either way, no one cares. There's always another idiot ready to buy the next beatdown one for $4,000 and repeat the cycle. That's all the G37 is, recycled embarrassment. Passed around like a joke that's been told too many times. And the legacy? There is none. It didn't change car culture. It polluted it. It didn't inspire new drivers, it endangered them. Real builds avoid it. Real tuners mock it. Even Nissan doesn't talk about it anymore. It's not iconic. It's not collectible. It's disposable trash that refuses to stay buried. G37 is a rolling obituary. And the only thing sadder than the car is the people still trying to convince us it matters.